Hello everyone. So I kind of want to talk about something I've been thinking about lately, which may or may not be controversial, don't really know. This is going to be a super subjective and opinionated topic, so just keep in mind that this is literally all just in my opinion. But it's the concept that a game can be too long, and in some cases be so long that it actually hurts the game. All the examples I'm going to give in this video, all the games, all have their own strengths and weaknesses as a game, so I'm not saying all the games I talk about in this video are bad or anything, just maybe a bit too long, in my opinion. But first of all, what makes a game too long? Well, it very much depends on the game, and you're probably thinking, yeah, no shit, it depends on the game, genius. But I don't mean in a general sense. I mean, if a game is long and it effectively stays engaging and fresh and does a good job of maintaining the fun from start to finish, you know, mixing things up and stuff like that, then it's perfectly fine if it's long. Games pull it off pretty often, actually. The Yakuza games, for example, mostly the story in this case, I'd say there's so many twists and turns and everything that you just want to keep playing. Another really long game that I think does it well is Final Fantasy 16. And I know this game is controversial in the FF community, but it's for completely different reasons. It's kind of irrelevant, so I won't get into it. But you're getting new abilities and powers that are meaningful and mix up the gameplay from start to finish. And it's like at least a 45-50 hour game first playthrough, and that's probably lowballing it, to be honest. And this is what I mean by saying it really depends on the game / type of game, because Yakuza and FF16, in my opinion, are both long ass games that are really good, and the length works in those games for completely different reasons. Yakuza keeps you engaged with its story, and there is a skill tree in Yakuza. I'm not saying the skill tree is meaningless in Yakuza or anything, but I do think you mostly push through those games because of the story. And I love FF16's story as well, but that's more subjective than saying the same for Yakuza. So I'll just go with the more agreed upon aspect of it, which would be that progression is very well done in FF16. And here's the thing, like, you could say, well, most long games have a skill tree, so naturally things are constantly changing in pretty much all of them, right? And that's the thing, skill trees can be very unrewarding and unimpactful until you get through like a good chunk of the skill tree in some games. So for example, I thought the skill tree in FF7 Rebirth was incredibly unimpactful until you were nearing the end of the skill trees, as there's multiple, and it really hurt the game in my opinion. Actually, FF7 Rebirth is part of the reason I'm making this video, because I just couldn't finish that game, and I had over 60 hours in it. I was toward the end, but I just could not find it in me to push through that last quarter of the game. And I'm in no way saying the game is bad. I'm not really shitting on the game at all, as a matter of fact, because in this case it's probably just me, but I felt like FF7 wasn't keeping me motivated and engaged the whole way through. Like, after a while I felt like I hit a wall and wasn't getting much stronger, even though I know I was, because I was finding new weapons and shit like that, but I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. And I honestly don't have an explanation for that. That's just how I felt with that game in particular. So a game I think doesn't mix things up enough from start to finish, in my opinion, would be Death Stranding. And don't get me wrong, Death Stranding was a good game. I thought the story was incredible, but my god, the gameplay got so old after like the 30-hour mark. I know everyone jokes about it being a walking simulator, but it legitimately is a walking simulator. And yeah, there's tons of equipment that basically help you like walk better. That sounds so dumb, but it's true. There was a lot of little gadgets and shit to help you transport packages better, but to me it just wasn't enough to warrant a 40+ hour game, because personally, if that game's story wasn't as good as it is, I honestly don't know if I would have finished it. So every game I mentioned up until this point I like and have respect for. So let me bring up a game / franchise I have no respect for, and that would be Assassin's Creed by good old Ubisoft. I just can't stop talking about them on this channel lately, apparently. But let me make it clear, I have not played this particular Assassin's Creed, and I don't plan on it either. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I have heard so many horror stories of this game just dragging ass. Way overstays its welcome, and I believe it, because most of the Ubisoft games I've played in the past 10 years have been bloated, lazy games where the content only exists to be just that, content. None of it is meaningful, and it's usually just busy work. And some people like that. Some people literally just want a game they can play for a long time, and they don't really care if the content sucks or not. They just want to play a game and not have to buy another one for a while. That's fine. I get that. But the content in these games feels almost like AI generated. So online, it'll tell you that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is about a 50 to 60 hour game, but I've heard multiple people saying they've been playing this game for upwards of 80 to 90 hours and just then finally beating the main story. And I'm sorry, but excuse me for doubting that a modern Ubisoft game can maintain itself and stay enjoyable for 90 hours. Highly unlikely, I'd say. But again, if you like those games, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm not saying a game being long is even a bad thing at all, or is a flaw in any way. I'm just saying you really do have to do it right and in a way that works to keep people playing, and that's where some games go wrong. But yeah, I've given quite a few examples. I think you get the point. So yeah, that's about it. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Maybe I'm just a rambling madman that couldn't get through FF7 7 Rebirth. I don't know. I really don't know. So let me know if anything I'm saying makes any sense to anyone. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.